All right, can y'all see that right there? Okay, so this is the newest cooking alarm from INKBIRD. And on paper, this is probably one of the most impressive cooking alarms at this price point. Now, before we do the review, really quickly, 2 disclaimers. 1, this video is partially sponsored by INKBIRD, and they did send me this fancy cooking alarm in exchange for an honest review. And 2, if you do decide to get one of these because of this video, I would love it if you clicked one of the links in the description. Those are affiliate links, and it doesn't cost you anything more to use them, but I do get a small commission from Amazon when you do. All right, promo footage. The INKBIRD IBT-26S is a cooking alarm that can monitor up to 5 meat probes and 1 ambient temperature probe with an accuracy rate of plus or minus 0.9 degrees Fahrenheit. It also comes with a free and easy to use app that utilizes Bluetooth 5.1 technology for exceptional range, and it also has Wi-Fi. Now, on the topic of Wi-Fi, this particular unit stands out over and above all the other things that I've seen. What I mean by that is most of those wireless cooking alarms that use Wi-Fi, including those Wi-Fi pens and all these other things, they all require, or at least they have a disclaimer on the box that says they require a 2.4 gigahertz network to connect with. Now, for most of us in 2023, our home networks usually have Wi-Fi that is 5 gigahertz and 2.4, and so that means you need to create a separate 2.4 network just so that that particular device has a consistent connection. So instead of fiddling with all that, this INKBIRD device has a 5 gigahertz chip. So that means all you got to do is unbox, pair it to your existing network, and it'll do the rest. Okay, so with all that said, we know that this thing has Bluetooth 5.1. On paper it says 5 gigahertz and 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi, 6 probes, all this cool stuff. But the question is, does it actually live up to all the hype? My findings would be yes. This is what we're about to bring out. So for this test, I used the INKBIRD alarm for 24 hours straight. I seasoned 2 pork shoulders and put them on my char griller acorn smoker. I had my ThermoWorks signals running alongside the INKBIRD to help gauge temperature accuracy. I used a supplied grate clip and one of the extra probes to help monitor my smoker temperature, and I used another meat probe to help monitor the pork shoulder on the left. The readings varied slightly between both alarms at first, but settled within a degree of each other during the cook. After hitting 160 degrees internal, I wrapped the shoulders in foil. The display on the INKBIRD also looks nice and crispy in this shot because I turned the LCD up to max. After the INKBIRD alarm went off, I removed the pork shoulders to rest overnight and used the INKBIRD to make sure my oven and meat temps were in the range of 160. I should also point out that I didn't have any connection issues with the INKBIRD during the session. So after 12 hours on the smoker and 12 hours resting, I was ready to see how my first cook with the INKBIRD alarm went. These longer cooks at an elevation of 5,500 feet can sometimes lead to dried out meat. But not today. This pulled pork was spot on. Okay, so in closing, I want to share some honest thoughts here. First off, I actually think for under $100, this thing is ridiculously good. The fact that it can monitor up to 6 different inputs, it's got a nice magnetic back, built-in rechargeable battery, very good LCD display, the app is pretty good. The dog agrees, if you can hear that from the neighbors. I just think it's amazing. I mean, it makes no sense to me to spend $100 on one of those wireless thermometer probes that with only one channel and one point of monitoring when you can get so much more for the same price. And furthermore, I would say that this is intuitive enough and easy enough to set up, especially with the 5 gigahertz and 2.4 chips built in, that you could gift it to folks who may not be as technologically savvy, and they would still have a good time using the app, very easy to read display and so forth. And of course, if you're someone that's just going to be using this in the kitchen, monitoring your cooks in the oven and things like that, I think it works great. And also for those of us who like to spend more time in the backyard, grilling and smoking meats, the battery life is plenty enough to monitor the entire cook, and reliable enough too as well. Now lastly, if I were to nitpick a little bit, INKBIRD does have a really cool temperature control fan that are used for like Kamado or bullet style smokers, and I just wish there was a way to somehow kind of marry the two so that I had a LCD display going with that fan as I monitor my cooks. And most of you probably don't even care about that, but anyways, it would be a nice to have feature. But other than that, again, I think this is a great device, especially for the cost. I think it blows out other devices at the same price and some devices that are like 2 or 3 times more. Anyways, if you found this video helpful, again, please consider using the link below when purchasing, or at least throw me a like if this video was informative or helpful for you, and we'll see you on the next video.